Okay, welcome everyone to our July meeting, our last meeting before September. So we'll call our meeting to order. We have one addition to today's agenda, which Deputy Mayor Woods is dealing with the cannabis survey, and we'd like to add that under Section 15, Communications. Can I have a confirmation of today's agenda in doing that, please? Gary, seconder Scott, all in favor? And that one's carried. Declaration of pecuniary interest, general nature thereof. Anyone? Anything on the agenda? No? Nope. Okay, seeing none. No delegations, no public hearings, no bylaws. We'll go to adoption of previous council meeting minutes. We have the regular meeting, which is on June 20th, and we have the July Committee of the Whole meeting. Can I have a mover to do that, please? We have Bill and Scott. Anything from those? Staff will be bringing a report back, I believe, dealing with the ATVs and the road issue that we had. Am I right, Arthur? That'll come in. Oh. Okay. So all in favor of those minutes? Yep, that's carried. Sorry, I didn't see that, Kate. You do have that under business arising that basically bring back a staff report in for our September meeting, if at all possible. If staff can get that done by then. Can I have a mover to do that, please? And that's Gary and Scott, all in favor. That one's carried. Committee reports, mover to move the committee reports from 10-1 to 10-6. Mover to do that, please. Scott, second Pat. Anything from those? Anybody? All in favor? Carried. And we go down to recreations and facilities. We're dealing with the radio tower proposal at Baltimore Park. Trevor, do you want to say anything on this? I didn't see your report, and it's pretty self-explanatory, but you're welcome to come forward and say a few more words if you so wish before we put a vote to it.
Okay, yeah, so we did have SBA did have their public open house, and we did have some of the residents show up, and basically was not in support of the tower being located in the park area. Okay.
And I know we all received a number of emails from residents. I don't think I had any that were in support of it or had issue dealing with the cell phone issue or anything. So, okay, let's have a motion then that council not enter into a lease agreement with SBA Canada UCL for construction of a telecommunication tower at Baltimore Rec Center. Can I have a mover to do that? Bill, seconder Scott. Any comments? Gary?
Yeah, the only comment I have is, I support it, but the motion, but I just want to make sure that the public is aware that won't preclude.
Oh, your mic's sorry.
That won't preclude them from going onto private property.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Okay. All in favor? That one's carried. And next we have a report dealing with the engineering at the Gores Landing Wharf and the project management and so forth. Trevor, you're on again if you still wish to speak on this one. I know you had a number of firms that were interested, but you narrowed her down. And
yeah, so we received 5 RFPs. 3 of the 5 met all the requirements in the scope of work. They were scored, and PlanMac Engineering scored the highest. They do have a lot of experience in wharfs and working within the water area.
Okay, any comments or questions before we vote on this one? Gary, yes?
Yeah, I did. Trevor, I wasn't here for the last meeting, and I didn't know this was something. I'm just more curious, probably through Arthur, to you, why, I don't read in the report that any council staff was at the opening of the tenders. Is that not necessary? I'm just curious. Or was the coordinating committee aware of the tendering before?
No, so through the RFP, we did have a group that scored them, which was myself and Arthur and Paul Doggard.
I guess what I'm curious for Arthur is it, I thought it was practice that somebody from council be there for the tendering opening, or if there's...
Paul will respond to that.
Sure.
Through Mayor Lotion, Councillor Woods, it's not necessarily the case. Some tender openings, we do have council representative on some of the larger projects, and this one did not have the council representative present during the opening. It's not like a tender opening in the RFP. This one is distributed to the members, taken and read, and then an arrangement is made for another time to come back and do the evaluation of that project. So it's a different process to the tender process.
Okay, I just wanted clarity, that's all. That's fine, thank you.
Okay, any further comments on this one? All in favor to award it? Yep, Pat and Scott, and it's carried. And next up, we have corporate services. We have upcoming events. We're dealing with the council, staff, and summer student barbecue. That will be August the 17th. Hopefully that suits everyone, yes? Everyone's good? And then we have local government week, which will be October 17th. That'll be at Cold Springs Hall. And then we have our annual recognition for staff, and that will be the September, and staff and volunteers, and that will be September the 29th in Baltimore. But there is alternate dates, if that does not work, of October 13th, 14th, 20th, and 21st. So is everybody available for that on September the 29th? Does that look good at this point? Because we've got to move it along, because we probably won't, we're only going to have one meeting before that.
When's the Eastern Ontario Conference in Kingston? Before
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah, this is at the end of the month. I think it's in August, isn't it? The one in Kingston? No? Yeah, is it September? So everyone's good? We'll keep that for information.
You said there was a local government, I just didn't catch the date, October 17th?
It's Local Government Week, and it is October 17th, and it will be at Cold Springs Memorial Hall. So staff will have something planned for that. Okay, next up we have 13.2, dealing with our building department statistics again. And that's from April to June, till June. Can I have a motion that be received? Scott, Pat, comments? All in favor? Carried. Then we have our budget schedule. Can I have a motion that be received for information purposes? Gary, Pat, comments, questions? Scott?
We had a presentation by our ratepayers representatives. If I might ask our treasurer, how close do they piggyback with each other in comparison one to the other? I'm sure you had regard for that request, and I'm just interested in the comparison of the two.
Through Mayor Lotion to Councillor Gibb, yes, we did have that in mind while writing this report. The report does point out that, well, to add to the report slightly, as we looked at the 2017 budget, looked at what worked and things that we could do to make the 2018 budget better. A couple of the initiatives that were identified in that was to move up the public open house and as well to bring in the long-term planning. Those are a couple of items that were identified in that presentation at the Committee of the Whole meeting in June. However, I believe the request was to have an open house in October. It had been identified in our strategic plan as presented by the CAO in April that the intention was to actually move it up to September. So in that sense, we've met and surpassed that particular portion, as well as presenting information to do with long-term strategic planning. Not worded exactly as such, but it identifies those areas of concerns from that presentation. So I believe that we've not only identified areas that we could improve on previous to that presentation, but it actually parallels that report. So when the report happened, we saw that we had actually identified that and moved on with it. So, yeah.
Okay. All in favor? Carried. Next up, we have budget year-to-date for the second quarter. Paul, do you wish to speak on any of this, or just want us to receive it for information? It's mostly self-explanatory, but...
Thank you, Mayor Lotion. I believe it's self-explanatory. I'd be happy to answer any questions that council might have on this.
Okay, mover to receive it for information, and we can ask questions. Gary and seconder Scott, any comments or questions then? All in favor? That's carried. And then we have HR dealing with policies. There was quite a number of them. Is Beth here? Beth is here. Hi, Beth. Why don't we go to questions for Beth? Does anyone have any questions on any of these first, rather than just pass them? Pat, yes?
I just have a couple.
Yeah.
One is on the criminal reference check policy.
What page is that, Pat?
Hang on one second, Beth will tell you exactly where it is. So not the first one. The wrong one. Policies for council. Okay, so the first one, on criminal reference check number 4. Everywhere else for volunteers, you've made a separate line that includes, I think the wording rather than employment, something to the effect of volunteer position. You've done employment/volunteer position. So I'd kind of like to see that added since we don't employ our volunteers.
Yes.
4.0.
Where is that?
4.0 of the criminal reference.
That's what we're trying to find. What page would it be, Pat?
I'm trying to figure out how the page. I've got it under not as a PDF, so I'm in the actual policy. And it's on page 1.
Is it at the top of where I have?
Standards.
4.0?
Yeah, you've got as a condition of employment, and I'm saying it should be /volunteer position.
I think it's page 49 then, Pat, from our agenda, just for
Okay.
everybody else.
So what I've done there, or attempted to do, was to put the volunteers in a separate bullet, 4th bullet down.
Okay, so that's how you're thinking that looks after that?
I was thinking that, but if you don't feel that way, we can definitely make adjustments. In the next bullet, I've said if there is a criminal record that is deemed relevant to the job offer or offer a volunteer position.
Yeah, that was what made me think, I like it better that way than as a
Okay.
separate line, just personally, it's.
So you're saying eliminate that line before that? Is that what your thoughts
And
are?
then put volunteer position where it says employment in the first paragraph.
I can do that. Sure.
And then the other one,
Does everybody, just before we go forward, does
Okay.
everybody understand where she is or what she's relating to? Scott, you're good? Yep, okay.
okay, and the other one was under bereavement, whichever policy that's, I think, like the third
That's
policy.
page 51 for us.
And I'm struggling with your definitions because you've put immediate relative is defined as a spouse, including same-sex partner. Since we see same-sex marriages, we already accept that in Ontario. I feel like that's almost pointing out something that shouldn't need pointing out. Like if we're trying to become more accepting of, any form of marriage is acceptable, we're all of a sudden saying, we're highlighting something that I don't think needs to be highlighted unless there's a legal reason to do it. So I was questioning the why of that, why you put the bracketed area in.
Okay.
So through you, Your Honor, the including same-sex was there previously, but you make a great point. I'm happy to take that out. I don't think there's any other reason for it.
I would like to see it taken out then.
Probably
please.
9 more. The old one was probably there before things changed.
And my last question is on the vision and values.
Any idea what page that is?
I believe it's the last one of the grouping, so if that helps you at all. If you scroll down on the side, Kate, it will be the last page of Beth's report. No, further still. Can we do that one?
Yeah, her report's quite long.
No, it's this one down here. It's 68, I think.
Page 68, yeah.
I believe so.
One more. Oh, that's it.
I believe, though I'm not 100% certain, that when we ran for council, or when we were on council, when we were given our original orientation, there was policies that we were expected to adhere to. I'm thinking that it should include council for application.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it would. It will now anyway. Okay, so we could add council to that. Everybody's good with that? Gary, yeah.
That was
Scott, yeah. Okay, so those changes are all agreed upon. Good. Can we get a motion to approve the report with those changes that we've added? Pat, you move. Seconded Bill. All in favor? Carried. That's quite a bit of work, but you better done. Good.
Thanks. I'm glad you
Thanks,
brought the
Bill.
volunteer firefighters into that. I think that's a great idea.
Okay, next up, we have emergency services, and Kelly, do you want to come forward? You're welcome to. First part we're dealing with is bylaw department statistics, which is good to see. Can I have a mover to receive this for information purposes? Bill, Gary, comments? All in favor? Carried. Then we have a fire department annual report. That was half of our agenda pretty well. Large report, but a good one. Can I have a motion to receive it for information purposes and have it posted on our website? Over to do that. Gary, seconder Scott. Comments on it? Pat, you have a comment?
My only comment is I was really pleased with it. I liked the way it was written, and I liked the setup of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done. Any further comments? Gary?
Yeah, I reviewed the report and the chance is very good, but I do have a question for Kelly, if he doesn't mind. When you refer to smoke alarms, Kelly, it's come to my attention that are there two different types of smoke alarms? Is there one just for moisture and one for smoke that people can put in their residence? Because I know that, I'll use my house for reference. Sometimes when I'm having a shower, the steam will set off the smoke detector in the hallway, and I understand that there is a smoke detector out there that there are different types that it can eliminate the moisture and just pick up smoke?
That's correct. There are two types of smoke alarms. One's a photoelectric and one's an ionization alarm. And although smoke alarms generally don't do well in humid conditions, the ionization isn't affected nearly as much by steam or humidity. So if you're looking to put alarms in your home, it's a good idea to have both types of alarms. But in areas where there's high humidity or steam, the ionization would be the preferred alarm to place near those areas where that does occur. And the difference between ionization and photoelectric is simply one acts faster. So the photoelectric acts faster to faster burning fires. Ionization acts faster to smoldering fires. So it is recommended that you kind of mix up your alarms in your homes because you are required to have multiple smoke alarms in your home.
Okay, thank you. That clarifies that for me. Thank you.
Yeah, interesting. Didn't know that. Any further comments on the report? All in favor? Carried. And next up, we have our parking enforcement report. Can I have a motion that we received for information purposes? Looks like everything's going well in that department. Pat, you'll move. Seconder, Bill? All in favor? Oh, sorry, question, Scott? Yeah?
I don't have the actual, excuse me. I don't have the actual statistical numbers of the report immediately in front of me, but I have reviewed them. Our number of tickets and our number of violations is down by like 75%, in a very general sense, 75%. Is there any number of factors or any major contributing factor that we could relate that to?
Three. We talk about this on a daily and regular basis. We kind of attribute it to three potential causes. one, the weather that we've had this year, and perhaps the people just aren't coming like they have in past years. Two, we aren't producing quite the same time frame in terms of being out there for an 8-hour day that the previous contractor had, so that's a potential. And three, the upgrades that we made to the signage, the bylaw, and the parking fine increases are the third area that we thought are contributing to the reduction in the number of fines that we're getting.
Kelly, do you not also put warnings on some of this? Are you still doing that?
We have given a number of warnings out this year. In our program and process, what we've done is we've tried to be a bit more proactive. So when we are out there, particularly first thing in the morning, in the timed areas at least, we are using the buck slip as they so call them, and we're telling them that you're allowed 2 hours of free parking. Please enjoy it, and then after that, then we are kind of going to come and check your site again.
Okay. Anything further, Scott? Sorry if I took away from you.
No, that's fine. I'm sure my fellow council members and staff remember my comments about whether this was going to work or not. I'm pleased to see that it is, and my prediction from the past has turned out to be incorrect, so thank you.
Well, let's hope it doesn't turn around. Still got August. Any further comments, Bill?
Yeah, it is just a comment. I just want to compliment the group, and I think they're spending a lot of time interacting with the public as well, and that's another reason that I think the numbers are down. They're out there and talking to people, and I also think it's a great success that the numbers are down. We don't want to give out a great number of parking tickets, so
I think
congratulations.
Comments were warranted and welcome, and we have put a lot of time into positioning ourselves, and I think I did before I used the ambassador word, and spending that time trying to coach and talk to people about why we do what we do and why it's not a good idea to park in the places. So that was good, good reference material and good advice that we got.
Very good. Do we have what are we at this one? All in favor? Yep. So all in favor then, please? And that's carried. Next up, we have a report dealing with the replacement of the Canadian Coast Guard Communication Tower. Can I have a motion that the report be received and council enacts the following, that they approve the replacement of the township communications equipment through both fire and road operating budgets, and they be installed to the new tower by the Coast Guard at their expense. Mover to do that, please. Pat. Seconder, Bill. Any comments? Scott, yes?
Question, in the report, it refers to the first phase of equipment needed in the transfer from old tower to new tower. That's the number that we're basically making a decision on, of course. What might be projected into the future as to future equipment and future dollars? Even if I got a response in a percentage basis, I'd be more than happy with that.
So I would say in phase two, we're looking at moving from analog to digital, and then above that, we now know that we're going to probably have the cost of some form of power source, like a new generator, to run that system. So I'm thinking in the neighborhood of $30,000, $50,000 to do that second phase process when we go about that.
And when might that second phase be anticipated? Is that 18 and beyond, or just 18?
I think that it will start in 18, but I don't see this finishing till 19 and possibly 2020.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further questions? All in favor? That one's carried. Okay. Communications. We have one to add an addition. I think everybody's got a copy on your desk. Nope. Are they copied? Everyone's got a copy? Oh, you're going to put them out now? I know I have one here, so that's why I wondered. Well, Gary's doing that. Can we receive the communication and then we can pull from there? Pat, you'll move. Bill, you'll second. Yeah, I got one here. So those that want something pulled, Gary, you're up first.
The first one I want to pull is the senior games support. Is there, just for clarity, that was passed on to the Police Services Board, and it doesn't mention in there, but the Police Services Board did look after it, and that's a thank you, and they did make a donation of $200.
Okay, thank you.
I just want, what I want to say, could that letter be forwarded on to the Police Services Board so they receive it?
Could staff to do that? Yeah, Kate's saying yes, so we can do that for sure. And what else you want pulled, Gary?
I just want to pull the one in Northumberland County Oral Health. I
yes.
think that we should make a motion there to support that. I think it's in people that can't afford dental services and stuff, and seniors, and there are people out there.
They are looking for
support.
all of county support if we can get it, so you'll move to do that. Can you
Yes.
get a seconder to do that? Pat, comments? All in favor? That one's carried.
We just sort of jumped, that's what the look was for.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, we're still under communications.
Resolution? Sure.
Yep.
Communications,
Okay.
wasn't
No, it's still under communications, yep. Keep, are you done?
it? Well, I'll wait.
Or do you
I
want to
got
talk
this one
to,
here.
I was just going to give them, I thought you were going to talk about this one at the beginning, but
I can talk to it now if I just.
Mike, this as well, and then we'll finish it off, and then we'll go to Pat next. You want to tell us about this one? Because I haven't had a chance to read it. and,
Okay, just basically, it's correspondence received from AMO, the the Association of Ontario Municipalities. And what they've done is send out a consultation process where they interested in the survey. Just a little background, in April of 2017, the federal government introduced legislation to legalize and regulate recreational marijuana in Canada by 2018. If passed, the proposed Cannabis Acts would create rules prohibiting giving, selling, and carrying cannabis across Canada. The provinces here would also adjust or build on certain federal rules, like raising minimum age or having to have or buy cannabis to over 18. What they're looking for is a consultation period is from the public. They would like a response. Unfortunately, it's July 31st. 5 of the areas they're looking for feedback on is 1, setting the minimum age for using or buying cannabis. 2, deciding where people can use cannabis. 3, keeping our roads safe, any were concerns. 4, regulating cannabis sales. And 5, planning public education. These are the 5 areas that they would like to have participation back from the public if there's any awareness. And basically how to participate. There are 2 ways to give your feedback. Complete an online survey by July the 31st. And you can complete the entire survey or just sections you're interested in. Read the consultation paper and send us the feedback by email, and it's cannabis@ontario.ca, or you may mail it to the Ontario Legislation of Cannabis Secretariat, the Ministry of the Attorney General, 720 Bay Street, 11 floor, Toronto, Ontario. And the press is where I've given some of there's a copy of the press, but what it is, the background, they just want some information from the public concern before they go ahead with the legislation, and it is going to pass. I can see that, but it's nice that hopefully we can get some of our concerns in by then.
Okay. So this is to be done by individuals?
Yeah, this is to be done by the individual public or a member of council.
Okay. Okay, so that's good. Anyone else? I think Paul, Pat, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I have several things. The first one, the farm tour invitation, I would appreciate being able to go to that, because that is probably one of my weaker areas on council.
Sure, that's open to all of council, so you're welcome to go.
Okay. Second, I would like to see us support the first resolution about the tax-exempt portion of remuneration paid to local officials. I think for the rural municipalities, that the reasons that they originally put that legislation into place still makes sense.
Okay, can I get a seconder on that motion then, please?
I will.
Bill, you'll second it? Comments, questions, all in favor? That one's carried. Anything else, Pat?
Yeah, I was going to bring forward Gary's, but we already got that one looked after. But I also think the one from North Stormont is very important, because it could impact our being able to sit on the GRCA, if I'm understanding it correctly. If I have misunderstood it, then Mr. Mayor, could you please let me know? But if they need 50% of the people on the conservation authorities to have scientific background, then could that end up bumping some of the local governments.
To be honest, we haven't had this come forward at the Conservation Authority, so I can't give you any more than what I've seen here. So this is kind of new, but I really don't know the answer to it at this point.
So my suggestion is that if we're supporting it as it's written, I feel comfortable supporting it. If you want to find out more information, can we at least put this on hold and bring it back in September?
Can we do that? We don't meet in August, so it might not be until October.
That's fine. I just, like I said, I would hate to see us lose a seat at Conservation Authority.
Sure. Okay. Well, I'll definitely make sure it comes on our September agenda at the GRCA and see
Thank you very much.
if we're missing anything. Okay. Anyone else with anything? Bill, yes?
Yeah, just to add, we've got material here from the Physician Recruitment Committee. Just a good news story. They did get a new doctor just yesterday. He's opening a
Okay.
practice in Port Hope, and he's a completely new practice. It means his roster is starting at 0, which is
Oh, wow.
several hundred people are going to be able to get a doctor from our area. So that's just a good news story I wanted to share with the group.
Do you have a name and a phone number?
I don't think I should give that out just yet, but
Do you
it'll be on the website for sure.
Valerie's probably got it back there. She'll have it on the paper for tomorrow. Anything else from the communication? No? All in favor? That one's carried. Okay, next up, we have questions from the press. Any questions from the press? Yep.
Was there a decision made about that? I know it was pulled out separately, there was a report, but I don't know what happened.
Oh, all we've done, we're going to replace what's needed on it for our fire and roads.
Is it going to be on the same site?
It's
Bride Road?
It's close, I believe. Is it an exact? I think it's just a little off. It's not exact.
Through your worship, it's a small adjustment. Small adjustment to the site. It's in the same site, subject to just physically locating it and with piers and adjustments that the Coast Guard is undertaking.
And would there be an additional cost or a change in I'm assuming you lease space on that tower?
We're in the process of, through your worship, we're in the process of looking at the lease as all part of this discussion. So they could be subject to some updates and amendments to bring it up to date.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Valerie. We have one item getting closed, so can I have a mover to move into a closed session under Section 239-2F? Gary and Pat. I was going to wait. Yeah, all in favor? All in favor of going in closed? Yeah, and it's carried. Yes, Valerie?